in terms of head coaches, Kirby Smart, there's little to criticize, but still people find a way, and it has to do with the national championship. Now, I come to his defense all the time because I don't think that there's been enough time. Not that he couldn't have won one, of course, in 2017. And obviously he showed that he can get a team to the brink of a national championship. He can basically win a national championship. If you can establish a 2-score lead in the final game and take it to overtime, you've developed the team and brought them to a place to win a national championship. But he's had a couple missteps in big games. The recruiting has been just incredibly lights out. So Kirby Smart seems to have everything working this year, and this seems to be the year.
As a Georgia fan, unfortunately, especially if you're a fan of the sports in Georgia, we have believed for a very long time that there's a curse. And it always seems like we get 5 feet from the finish line and can't quite get there for whatever reason, whether it's the Atlanta Braves, the Atlanta Falcons. A few years back, the Atlanta United soccer team did win the MLS, so that was exciting. But this year, with I think seeing the Braves win the World Series kind of helped break that mindset. But as a Georgia fan, you always have that nagging feeling in the back of your head, and it always seems like it comes down to Georgia, Alabama. So we're going to see another classic Georgia-Alabama. What we have seen in years past is when Georgia plays Alabama, if we put together a good solid game plan, we can take Alabama to the wire just as good as anybody can. In the national championship that Alabama won against Georgia, that was hard fought by both teams. Took me back to the Aaron Murray days where Georgia and Alabama's playing, and we get a tip ball and we catch it on like the 2 or 3 yard line. Aaron Murray, high completion percentage in the red zone. Another pass, if we drop that pass, statistically speaking, it's very likely the next pass would have been a caught ball or a touchdown. And then they go on to play Notre Dame. Alabama absolutely trashed Notre Dame. It's likely Georgia would have done the same. So Georgia's got all these things in the back of its head. But I really feel like this Georgia team is built different this year. The mentality is different. Kirby Smart seems to be a little more open to allowing the offense to open up, which was nice. Some of us kind of felt that it was a little bit conservative, and a lot of Georgia fans questioned his choice with going with Jake Fromm rather than Justin Fields. We obviously saw what Justin Fields was able to do at Ohio State. But while we didn't win that national championship, I really feel like that set the tone and the expectation for what Kirby Smart was looking for out of the program. This also translated over to the recruiting trail, which has been dominant ever since. Georgia has tons of talent all over the field. In this particular year, you can see it on defense. So for me, seeing what we're going to go up with against Alabama and then going back and looking at the stats with Stetson Bennett, I know a lot of people are really, really hard on Stetson Bennett because of what happened in that first Alabama game. He struggled during the regular season. JT Daniels comes in and plays the role of savior. But if you actually go back and you look at the stats, his stats are pretty strong. It looks like he would be as good as JT Daniels on paper than what we saw out of JT Daniels last year. A lot of injury concerns with JT Daniels, lack of play time is a concern with JT Daniels. And at this point in the season, it's likely too late, in my opinion, to be able to get him up to speed quick enough to put him in a championship caliber game and just throw all of our marbles in that basket and just be like, we're going to ride with JT Daniels. At this point, it really has to be Stetson Bennett.